Welcome back, builders. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today for this explainer because, honestly, we are crossing a massive milestone right now. If you've been following along with this React journey, you know we've covered a ton of ground. But today is where all those individual puzzle pieces finally snap together. We're diving right into day 14, where we're going to build our second mini project. We call it the NewsMonkey application, and we'll be leveraging the absolute power of React and modern server state.
Now, reaching number 14 is a really big deal. And you might be wondering, why? Well, because hitting day 14 means you're officially graduating. You are moving past basic, isolated theory. You're no longer just staring at abstract concepts on a screen. You are literally stepping into the shoes of a real front-end engineer to construct a tangible, real-world application. This is that magical moment where you transition from just learning how the tools work to actually building something that you can show off to the world.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our exact mission today is to build a fully functional news app. Now, we're defining this as a real-time application that fetches, categorizes, and beautifully displays live articles using APIs and server state. We are officially done hard-coding text on a screen. No way. We're building a dynamic platform that pulls live, breathing data straight from the web, structures it, and serves it up to the user in a totally seamless experience.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, component superpowers. Second, structuring NewsMonkey. Third, modern server state. Fourth, fetching real-time APIs. Fifth, sorting by category. And finally, polishing the UX. Let's get to it.
Starting with Section 1, Component Superpowers, or, as I like to call it, building with digital Lego.
So if you really want to understand React, you have to fully embrace its component-based architecture. You really have to think of components as individual Lego blocks that you just snap together to build these incredibly complex structures. Let's look at the core features that give React these enterprise-grade superpowers, the same powers trusted by massive tech giants like Meta and Netflix, by the way. First up, we have JSX. This is amazing because it allows us to write HTML-like syntax directly inside our JavaScript. It keeps our UI code incredibly intuitive. Next is the virtual DOM. Now, instead of clumsily updating the entire web page every single time something changes, React calculates the exact changes in a virtual DOM and only updates the specific parts of the real DOM that actually changed. This means rendering is lightning fast. Then we've got reusable components. You write a component once, say a news article card, and you can reuse it 100 times across your app. That saves a massive amount of development time. And finally, because of this ridiculously fast rendering performance, React apps are super SEO friendly. Faster load times literally mean your app ranks higher on search engines.
Moving on to Section 2, Structuring NewsMonkey, the application blueprint.
Right, before we write even a single line of code, we absolutely need a blueprint. I mean, you wouldn't build a house without a floor plan, right? So here is exactly how our application will be organized. At the very top, the big boss, we have the app component. This is our rote container that holds the whole shebang together. Inside of that, we'll snap in a navbar component for our sticky top navigation. Easy enough. Then we have the news component. This one is the main parent container that's going to hold our entire feed of articles. And crucially, inside that news container, we're going to render multiple news item components. Each news item is purely responsible for displaying the data of one individual article. You see how perfectly logical this is? Parent components orchestrate the big picture layout, and the child components handle the nitty-gritty details.
All right, Section 3, Modern Server State, your app's memory. If components are the skeleton and skin of our app, state is the brain. It's the memory. Let's compare the two main types of state you absolutely need to know. On the left, we have local state. This is lightweight stuff. It exists entirely within a single component. It's perfect for simple UI interactions, like remembering if a drop-down menu is toggled open or holding the text you just typed into a search bar. But on the right side, we have server state, and this is where modern front-end engineering has really shifted its focus. Server state handles the heavy lifting. API responses, real-time live data, cached back-end data. Now, the best practice today is to keep your state as local as possible, sure. But for a news app, we rely heavily on server state to ensure our UI is perfectly in sync with the live data coming from the back end. We want our users seeing the news right as it happens.
So the really crucial point here is this. Up to now, we know how to build a beautiful static structure using our components and local state. But how do we actually get the live, breaking news into our app?
Which brings us to Section 4, Fetching Real-Time APIs, Connecting to the World.
To bring NewsMonkey to life, we literally have to connect it to the outside world using JavaScript's Fetch API. Here is the exact component lifecycle sequence we need to make this magic happen. Step 1, our main news component mounts. That just means it successfully loads onto the screen. Step 2, immediately after it mounts, we trigger a function to hit the News API using our unique API key, basically knocking on their door and requesting the latest articles. Step 3, once the API responds with that raw data, we take it and update our server state. And Step 4, because our state just changed, React automatically re-renders the page for us. We take that fresh array of news data stored in our state, we loop through it directly inside our JSX, and we dynamically generate a beautifully formatted news item component for every single article in that array. It's like clockwork.
Oh, and I have to pause here for a really critical security tip. When you sign up for a News API, you're going to get a secret API key. Never ever hard-code this key directly into your component files. Seriously, don't do it. Great developers protect their credentials. You must always hide your API key by adding it to a custom environment variable file. This makes absolutely sure your private key isn't exposed to the whole internet when you publish your code.
Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is that it introduces a massive structural problem. Okay, so we've successfully fetched the data. Awesome. We have hundreds of articles flowing into our app. But how do we filter out the noise? Think about it. If a user only cares about sports, they definitely don't want to dig through 50 political articles just to find a baseball score, right?
Section 5. Sorting by category. Taming the information hose. So to tame that information fire hose and actually empower our users, we're going to implement a few key category enhancements. First, we update our fetch logic to target category-wise endpoints. So if the user clicks technology, we tell the API, hey, only send us tech news. Simple. Second, we're going to add prop types to our components. This is just a fantastic practice that validates the data types being passed around. It ensures our app doesn't just crash and burn if it expects a string of text but randomly gets a number instead. And finally, we refactor our news component. Because React is just so incredibly flexible, we don't need to build a totally separate component for sports, and then another one for business, and another for tech. Nope, we can reuse the exact same news component and just pass in a different category prop to seamlessly display whatever topic the user selects. It's so efficient.
And that brings us to Section 6, polishing the UX, creating a professional finish.
We are now entering the final phase of the builder's journey, transforming a basic, kind of clunky tutorial project into a premium, real-world application. Let's detail these specific user experience upgrades. First up, we can integrate an infinite scroll. So as the user scrolls to the bottom of the feed, boom, more articles automatically load. Trust me, this massively boosts user retention. We're also going to add a top loading bar and some loading spinners so the user always gets visual feedback when data is being fetched behind the scenes. Nobody likes a frozen screen. We'll also implement previous and next pagination buttons, just as a nice alternative to the infinite scroll. And lastly, we'll add a variable page size configuration, which allows us to control exactly how many articles render per page, totally optimizing our app's performance.
And for the final touch, the cherry on top, we add granular metadata. We're going to display the time, the author, and the exact news source on every single article. Adding these little details totally grounds the data in reality. It gives immense credibility to the news feed and truly completes the transformation of NewsMonkey from a learning exercise into a highly polished professional application.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one thought. Mastering API fetching and server state doesn't just mean you can build a news app. It means you now have the superpower to build virtually anything. You have taken a massive leap in your React skills today. So take a moment to celebrate that momentum. Seriously. With the power to connect a beautiful front end to live backend data, what are you going to build next? The possibilities are literally endless. Keep exploring, keep building, and I will see you in the next explainer.